through like a book a week this week. It's just wild how much I've been reading. So I decided to do another little Amazon book haul, and some of these books are also from bookshop.com. You guys know that I also love to support independent bookstores. But there's tons of books in here, so I'm literally barely able to like catch my breath because this is so heavy. So let's get into this, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Before we get into the little book haul, I definitely want to show you guys the books that I picked up within like the book shopping vlogs and just other vlogs that you may have missed if you're new here. I do lots of book shopping. I don't ever think I'm going to put myself on a book buying ban, and I think it's genuinely because I love buying books and I also read so many books that it's just like not feasible. So I'm gonna run through these books really quickly because if you have seen the vlogs, you've already seen these recommended. I picked up The Last Word, and this is a book that is a new book that just came out. It's by Taylor Adams. It's a thriller, and it's about a girl who writes a bad review of a book, and the person who wrote the book starts stalking her because of that bad review. So I just thought that that was an interesting concept, so I picked it up. I also picked up The Gap and the Gain, which is the High Achiever's Guide to Happiness, Confidence, and Success by Dan Sullivan. I have not jumped back into reading books that are not like romance or fiction or thrillers in a long time, but I think I'm ready. So I picked this up, heard great things about it, so I'm excited to dive into it. I also picked up The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros, and this is about what's his name? Beckett, and I don't really know a ton about this book, but it just shows the letter on the back, and Beckett ends up getting a letter from Ryan, and Ryan's sister has two twin boys or two twin children, and she's like by herself, single mom. And Ryan is like, hey, Beckett, I need you to take care of my sister because I'm pretty sure he like dies in the war or something like that. And this is actually by the author who wrote The Fourth Wing. So I definitely want to read her writing. So many people have said that this book has made them cry. It also was all over TikTok. Then I picked up The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden, and this just continues the story of a maid who works for this woman who has a lot going on in her relationship with her husband, and it seems like maybe there's some like foul play, or maybe he isn't like the best husband because on the outside he looks like he's great, but on the inside at home maybe he's not. So I read The Housemaid, really loved it, and this is the second book, so I'm really excited for this one. I also picked up Lessons in Chemistry, which you guys actually recommended this to me, by Bonnie Garmus, and this I think is a literary fiction, I'm pretty sure, but it also has like a little side like trope of romance, and I'm really excited for this one. You guys told me that this one was a good book, and it also is one of New York Times notable books of the year. So I pretty much only read like fiction, romance, and thrillers, but I don't really dive too much into literary fiction, so this will be like one of my first of those, but there are so many great reviews for this book, so I just had to pick it up. And then I picked up, oh my gosh, trying to hold these is wild, Local Woman Missing, and this is about Shelby who goes missing, and then Meredith goes missing, and that's and then Meredith's 6-year-old daughter Delilah goes missing, all in the same neighborhood. And then it says, now 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns, who is the daughter of Meredith. Everyone wants to know what happened to her, but no one is prepared for what they'll find. Some people will stop at nothing to keep the truth buried. So this is by Mary Kubica. I don't really know how to say her last name, but this book has a lot of good recommendations behind it, and so many people that I like get good book recommendations from have recommended this book, so it looks like a good one. And I'm back in my thriller era, so I've been picking up more thrillers lately. I also picked up Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, and I also picked up Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I recently read Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood and absolutely fell in love with her writing. It's so easy to read, and I feel like she does a great job of making you fall in love with the characters that are in love. So I had to pick up these two books because I love Love Hypothesis so much. Then I picked up Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman, and this was actually a recommendation from Kalila, and she always just gives such good book recommendations, and I love her so much. And so she rated this 5 stars, and I was like, you know what? If you rated it 5 stars, that needs to be on my bookshelf. So I picked it up literally because she recommended it. That's the sole reason why. I've actually walked past this so many times in the bookstore and I've never brought it home, but I love her recommendations. I feel like we have very similar taste in some books, so I had to get it. Then I picked up this book, Bully by Penelope Douglas. It's literally a bully romance. I've never read a bully romance like ever, and I think it's because I like reading romances where the guy is literally obsessed with the girl or the girl is obsessed with the guy and they're just like obsessed with each other. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, but I have heard great things about Penelope Douglas and Penelope Douglas writing. So it's about a literal bully who's like bullying this girl. And like, I guess he's in love with her. I don't know. I'm along for the ride. It's a new cover. And the old cover I think had like people on it, and I always thought about picking it up because a lot of people have said it's a good book, but I just cannot pick up covers where there's like a guy on the front. I just can't do it. So I now have picked it up, brought it home, now that there's a new cover and it's just like the words on the front. So these are all the books that I picked up in vlogs, like book shopping vlogs, reading vlogs and things like that, because I do book shop in reading vlogs a lot as well. I'll just like hop into a bookstore and grab like 1 or 2 books. So I had to do a little wrap up of that. Let's get into the packages. This first package is a smaller one, but oh my gosh, I hate when there's like this little, like, I don't know, stuffing that's in here that comes out, because I mean, the book isn't gonna get damaged if you just mail it like a regular book. But I got 2 books in here, and the first one is Take a Hike by Mimi Grace. Look how cute that cover is. I don't even know if you can like really see that. It is adorable. I just love books that have like a really cool design on the front. And this says, falling in love is an uphill battle. Day-to-day life has grown stale for Raven Coleman, who prefers to fly by the seat of her pants. So when she unexpectedly inherits an outdoor recreation and tour company in a charming small town, it's a shakeup she has been hoping for. Instead of selling the business right away, Raven steps in as the boss for the summer to determine if it's a position she'd like to hold long term. Unfortunately, her presence is not well received by the staff, particularly Silas, the hard-headed archery instructor. Silas Reynolds once had big dreams, but life got in the way, and now he's making the most of his situation. That is until the bubbly Raven thwarts his plans to buy Mountaintop Adventures. The 2 butt heads immediately, but attraction and rapport soon soften their exchanges. Can Silas and Raven keep their opposing goals and professional lives intact, or is love a force too strong to ignore? Now, I've heard Mimi Grace is an author that has like really happy, fluffy, fun, easy reads, and these are the types of books that I like to read in the summer, so that's why I picked it up. Then I picked up, what is this called? Out on a Limb. Picked this up because I heard that there is a like diversity rep in this, and disability rep in this, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. And I just like books that are very unique and different, and this one looks like it is that. I think this is also by a debut author. I literally saw the author on Instagram. I was like, you know what? Sounds like a good book. It's by Hannah Bonham Young. On the back it says, Winifred McNulty has always been wildly independent, not one to be coddled for her limb difference. Wynn has spent most of her life trying to prove that she can do it all on her own, and with some minor adjustments, she's done just fine. That is until she has a one-night stand with the incredibly charming Beau, a perfect stranger, and that one night changes everything. While Beau is surprisingly elated to step up to the plate, Wynn finds herself unsure of whether she can handle this new challenge on her own or if she'll need a helping hand. Together, Wynn and Beau decide to get to know one another as friends and nothing more, but as they both should know by now, life rarely goes according to plan. I just feel like this is so cool. You can see on the cover that he is kind of like leaning on her, and you can just see that it's like, I don't know, a very good rep, I think, for a book that you don't see very often. So I got both of these in the first package of books that I bought. This package is one that I bought from bookshop.com, and if you guys aren't familiar with bookshop.com, they are a online bookshop where 100% of the proceeds from the book that you buy goes to any bookstore that you choose. So I always choose this bookstore called Our Town Books. That's like 40 minutes for me. So it allows you to support independent bookstores while still buying books online, just like you would for Amazon or whatever. But literally money just goes to the independent bookstores instead of going to like a huge corporation. So I love doing that. I love getting books from there. And I picked up Play to Win by Jody Slaughter. This just came out literally in July, so just you have to pick it up. Like, look at the cover, it's just so cute. And on the back it says, Miriam Butler's life is going nowhere in the slowest, most excruciating way possible. Stuck in the same barely paying job she's had since she was 16 and spending every night sleeping in the spare twin bed in her mother's house, Miriam might call her existence hilarious if it wasn't so bleak. One trip to her favorite corner store upends everything when she finds out she's the winner of a Mega Millions lottery jackpot. Unfortunately, not even life-altering roses come without painful thorns. Hers just so happens to be in the form of an estranged husband who has the right to claim his share of the money. It's been 8 years since Leo Vaughn has had a conversation with his wife. When Miriam calls out of the blue, practically begging him to come back to Greenbelt, the last thing he expects her to tell him when he gets there is that she's coming to a whole heap of money. She offers him a life-changing proposition: take a lump sum, finally sign the divorce papers, and be done with her for good. Only a forever without her is the last thing that Leo wants. So he offers Miriam a proposition of his own, one that won't cost her nearly as many millions, but will buy him the time to do the one thing he's been hungry to do since he left: win her back. I love a book where like the guy has to like just win the girl back and like show her that he loves her and like all that. It just is such a good trope. And obviously she has come into like millions, and so it's like good to see her on the come up. This literally came out this month, so pick this up. This looks like such a good book. On the front it says, when it comes to second chances, you gotta play to win. I mean, second chance romances are some of the most fun books to read too, so love this. Never read anything from Jodie Slaughter, but I feel like this is going to be a good one. So I ordered some stuff that is not books related, so I hope that this is not bad. You will see. Oh, nope, there's definitely books in here. I think some of the stuff that's not book related is in here, which I guess I could just show you guys that. I got some of these elderberry gummies. They have vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc in them. So just if you guys were wanting a good elderberry gummy. And then there are 3 books that are in here. The first one that I picked up is My Dark Vanessa, and this is a Sunday Times bestseller. This is the new cover of this, or like the alternate cover. The old cover has like a girl on it. It just looks like sad. It's like dark and black and gray, and I don't know, I just didn't want to read that. So I picked up this alternate cover. It's by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Now, this is an interesting book because I have heard that it is a very hard book to read. And one that like a lot of people don't necessarily recommend, but they also feel like it is a good book. And it's about a girl who she falls in love with her teacher, I'm pretty sure. And you get to see like, I don't know, all of her thoughts behind falling in love with her teacher. I'm pretty sure she's like 15. And then you also get to see like why maybe someone would become a victim in a situation where someone's taking advantage of them. This is a fiction, and it's supposed to be like a complex story about like someone falling in love and like something that's forbidden and something that definitely shouldn't happen, and manipulation. And it's supposed to give you a view of like how hard that can be for someone to get out of, because not only does it show her when she's younger with those feelings for her teacher, but it also shows when she's older and her like working through all of that trauma. So I just have heard really good things about this. I have also been in my sad book era, so I think there is gonna be a video coming out, or maybe already has come out, of me reading sad books. So I just feel like this one would be a good one to read if I did another video like that. And I think it also is a good book to like shine light on like why people might fall into a situation like that and become a victim of like issues like that. So this is one of the books I got. I also got Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. I have seen this all over TikTok, literally all over TikTok. You can see on the back there's like a beach on it, and it's set at a beach, and it says, "You are cordially invited to the wedding of Mary Cross and Arnold Hightower, and now a toast from the maid of honor, Janelle Cross. Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Some of you may know me as the sister of the bride. Some of you may know me as the ex-girlfriend of the groom, but I'm willing to bet none of you know me as the woman secretly sleeping with the best man. I am. I know. I'm just as surprised as you. It was only supposed to be for the week, but every kiss, adventure, and stolen moment with Rome Martin feels like it could last forever. Oh well, what happens in Tulum stays in Tulum, right?" This looks so good. Literally, I picked this up because everyone on TikTok is like, it's so good, it's perfect for summer. I do think that the cover doesn't necessarily give summer, but the back does. I don't know why I didn't think that this was like a beach read, probably just because of the cover, honestly, but still the cover is beautiful. It definitely gives like Tulum-ish vibes because of the green, but I just cannot wait to read this one. Never read anything by Natasha Bishop either. And I also picked up The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros, which this was also seen on TikTok. This is a book by the author who also wrote Fourth Wing, and one that I definitely wanted to read. It says, told in alternating timelines, The Things We Leave Unfinished examines the risks we take for love, the scars too deep to heal, and the endings we can't bring ourselves to see coming. 28-year-old Georgia Stanton has to start over after she gave up almost everything in a brutal divorce: the New York house, the friends, and her pride. Now back home at her late great-grandmother's estate in Colorado, she finds herself face-to-face with Noah Harrison, the best-selling author of 1 million books where the cover is always people nearly kissing. He's just as arrogant in person as he is in interviews, and she will be danged if the good-looking writer of love stories thinks he's the one to finish her grandmother's final novel, even if the publisher swears he's a perfect fit. Noah is at the pinnacle of his career with book and movie deals galore. There isn't much the golden boy of modern fiction hasn't accomplished, but he can't walk away from what might be the best book of the century, the one his idol Scarlett Stanton left unfinished. Coming up with a fitting ending for the legendary author is one thing, but dealing with her beautiful, stubborn, cynical great-granddaughter, Georgia, is another. But as they read Scarlett's words in both the manuscript and her box of letters, they start to realize why Scarlett never finished the book. It's based on her real-life romance with a World War II pilot, and the ending isn't a happy one. Georgia knows all too well that love never works out, and while the chemistry and connection between her and Noah is undeniable, she's as determined as ever to learn from her great-grandmother's mistakes, even if it means destroying Noah's career. Wow, that was a mouthful. I will say, I do not really like when books literally give you like 3 full paragraphs on the back to read. I'm like, just get to the point. It's about her writing a book for her great-grandmother and trying to write it with this other guy who also is like super famous. That's a great synopsis right there, but I have heard this author is incredible. Obviously, you know by now that Fourth Wing has taken everybody by storm, so I had to pick this up because this is another book by Rebecca Yarros, and I feel like that author just knows how to write. Like, people literally are obsessed with her writing. So I picked these 3 up, and let's get into the last package. All right, let's see if maybe this is the package that doesn't have as many books, or maybe it does, I don't know. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. Nope, definitely books in here. I also picked up some other random things that I guess I can show you guys. I got some bobby pins. Got some ring cleaner because I need to clean my wedding ring. And I also picked up this little like sign thing. It's a light box because my birthday's coming up and I wanted to have this for like a little decor thing I'm doing. Also picked up this massive container of vitamin C. These are the random things that I get at Amazon. Picked up some hair ties and a box cutter. You guys have been telling me to get a box cutter. I have another one now. I lost the other one and I don't know. I couldn't find it, so now I have one. And I picked up books as well. So let me show you guys these books that got out of here. The first one I picked up is Dare You to Hate Me by B. Celeste. These, I think, also have new covers. I've shown you a lot of books with new covers, but I'm pretty sure that these have new covers too. This says, I dare you to hate me, Ivy, because we both know you don't. You couldn't even if you tried. When Ivy Underwood asked her best friend to run away with her at 16, she knew he would say no. She had nothing, but he had football, a picture-perfect family, and a loving home to go back to every day. So Ivy snuck out of his bedroom window after hugging him goodbye. She accepted she'd probably never see him again until they both wound up at Linden University 4 years later. Ivy's barely picking up the pieces after her shattered life. After years on the run when he approaches her at work. Aiden Griffith, Linden U's star tight end, the boy whose initials she used to doodle hearts around. He's still as attractive, still as dedicated, and still has a place in her heart for Ivy, no matter how hard she tries to push him away. But when rumors emerge that Aiden is being drafted to the NFL, Ivy knows it's only a matter of time before they have to say goodbye again. All the same, he can't seem to let her go, no matter what she says, and deep down, she doesn't think she wants him to. I love a sports romance! I cannot cannot wait to read this. And this is actually a series, so if I really like B. Celeste writing, I feel like I'm just gonna eat the whole thing up. The next book that I picked up is Heartstopper, and this was a book that Natalie actually recommended, and if you guys wanna see more like diverse reads with different types of relationships, I feel like you should definitely go check out her videos. They are so good. But she recommended Heartstopper, and it's by Alice Oseman. And I actually shared a graphic novel that I read recently. It's called Wash Day Diaries by, I can't think of the author, but that's what the name is called. And I read it in like 30 minutes, ate it up, and I was like, you know what? I used to read graphic novels as a kid. Why haven't I been reading them like now? So I wanted to pick up another one, and on the back it says, boy meets boy, boy become friends, boys become friends, boys fall in love. Shy and soft-hearted Charlie Spring sits next to rugby player Nick Nelson in class one morning. A warm and intimate friendship follows, and that soon develops into something more for Charlie, who doesn't think he has a chance. But Nick is struggling with feelings of his own. As the two grow closer and take on the ups and downs of high school, they come to understand the surprising and delightful ways in which love works. And I just felt like this would be a really good book because it is truly a graphic novel, and I loved Wash Day Diaries. I read it in like 30 minutes, so I feel like I will fall in love with this, and this is actually a series, so I feel like I'll probably read this super fast and then just jump into all the other ones. Can't wait to read this. And then another book that I picked up is When the Vibe is Right by Sarah Dess. Look at this cute cover. Anytime a black person is on the cover, I'm buying it. Like, no questions, I'm buying it immediately, and that's why I had to pick this one up. It says, there are two things Tess Crawford knows for sure. She's destined to be a great carnival costume designer like her renowned uncle, Russell Messina, who will one day inherit leadership of the family's masquerade ball. Her classmate Brandon Richards, a popular social media influencer, is the bane of her existence. Everything about him irks her, from his annoying nickname for Tess, which is Boop, to his association with David, her awful ex. But when the future of grandeur, which is her family's masquerade ball, nears the brink of collapse in the face of band rivalry, Tess finds to her wait, hold on. This is all one sentence. But when the future of the grandeur nears the brink of collapse in the face of band rivalry, Tess finds to her, I don't even know this word, sometimes I feel like as I'm reading, I'm like, am I illiterate? Because I don't even know what this word means. But she must team up with Brandon in a desperate attempt to revive the company. Honestly, there is nothing worse than trying to read a word and you like think you know it, and then as you're like about to say it, you're like, you know what, I don't know it. I was an English major in college, and I feel like that happens so often when I had to sit in a circle and like read out loud or whatever. I would always get the parts that were like hardest parts. So this is giving me a throwback to that. But it says, as Tess and Brandon spend more time together, Tess begins to wonder if everything she thought she knew might not be so certain after all. Set in a lush, gorgeous Trinidad, this is a novel about finding love in the most unexpected places. How freaking cute! I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got lots of book recs for me. I just love reading books. I read them so much, so often. So if you guys are wanting like book recs in real time and like my reviews, head over to my Goodreads and make sure you are subscribed. Like, half of you guys, I was looking, half of you guys are subscribed, the other half of you guys are not. So if you guys want to get more recs like this, just subscribe, because there's new videos 3 days a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So make sure you become a part of this little friendship community. It's so fun. We talk about books all the time, obviously, and it's just a good time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in literally like 2 days for another video. And yeah, I just hope you picked up some good books from this. Bye guys.